morning and welcome. Thank you for joining me for some yoga today. We're going to be practicing today our steady breath. So everything that we're doing, we are going to remind ourselves, even as we might get a little warm, feel a little bit pushed and a little bit challenged, that we are laying a foundation of steady and strong and kind of supportive breath. So we're going to start with a little bit of breathing, and then we'll move into some deeper movements and more challenging movements, but we'll keep that basis of the breath. I want you to be really comfortable to breathe. So you can sit, you can lie down, you can prop yourself up in any way that feels good. You just want to be undistracted by your body. So your body is not sending you signals, oh, my knee is bothering me, my shoulder feels funky. You want to be able to just purely focus on your breath. So whatever makes you feel the most relaxed, come into that place. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes here. So take your time, adjust things, add props if you need to. And as you come into this place, you want to be able to relax your shoulders. Your jaw should be soft. You can let your eyes drift closed. Just begin to listen. Can you hear your breath? And you're just kind of really gently, almost just polishing your breath today. You don't need to do any special exercises or special lengths of breath. You're just smoothing it out. It's like it's a glass, and it's a really lovely glass. It's very functional, but there's some fingerprints on it. You just want to smooth and polish those away. So when you breathe in, you just notice, is my breath steady? Does it draw in smoothly? You work to get that. Sometimes there's a point in the breath where we kind of hitch, or we think, oh, there's enough, but oh, there's not quite enough. And you're just trying to smooth out those little fingerprints, those little wrinkles. Just do the best you can. And you do the same thing with the exhale. And just give it a little bit of a polish, so that your breath becomes a little steadier, a little smoother, a little bit more even. And that's all we're working for today. Just for the breath to be relaxed and supportive. Filling the body with oxygen. Allowing the body to release spent breath, spent toxins. Just breathe here smoothly and steadily for about 5 or 6 more rounds of breath. You don't need to count. I'll let you know when it's time. Just become aware of how breathing consciously and steadily has made you feel. Hopefully it has made you feel a little grounded and relaxed. And that's the sensation we want to keep throughout our practice. When you're ready, you're going to make your way to a table pose. So take a few moments from wherever you are. If you need to move around, do a little twisting. If you're lying down, maybe a little drawing of your knees to your chest or wiggling around, shaking things out before you come to your table. Any props that you like are perfectly appropriate for this class. Nothing is required. But grab anything that you like to have and just set it near you. As you come to that table, spread your fingers wide, press down through the pads of all 10 of your fingers. So you're activating your hands here. And then just start drawing some circles with your hips. Size of the circle is totally up to you. Circle, another time this direction, and then we'll go the other way. Notice what happens with your breath. And then coming back to center, back to that table pose. Again, press down into all 10 of the fingers. Inhale, soften the center of the chest, roll the shoulders back, find your cow pose. Exhale, lift your belly, find your cat pose. Keep pressing into the fingertips. I like to bend my elbows. Totally optional. You can do whatever feels right to you. I'm just going to do one more round of cow-cat. And then we're going to add on a little bit. Come back to neutral as you inhale, tuck your right set of toes under, reach your right foot back, reach your left fingertips forward. Your fingertips stay on the floor here, press firmly into all 5 of your right fingertips, and just lightly rest down your left fingertips. Lift your right hip a little bit. You can stay right here, or you can float the leg and or the arm. So you could be totally rounded down, all 10 fingertips and toes. You could have some combination of 15 fingertips and toes, or just 10. And that would be the tops of your left toes, so they might not all be touching. That's totally fine. Hold here and just breathe. Find that steady breath. Feel that it takes a little more effort here. You're starting to work your core, your back muscles, your shoulder muscles here. And that steady breath is not so easy to maintain. That sense of relaxation and groundedness is not so easy to maintain. You're just going to do this for one more deep breath. And then regardless of where your hand and your leg are, you're going to draw them into the center line. Knee and elbow. Reach back out, and you can go totally balanced, or you can go foot and hand to the floor, or any combination thereof. Exhale, knee and elbow to the center line. Inhale, reach out. We're just going to do one more set. Steady breath. Nice long exhale. Nice full inhale. Put the foot down. Put the hand down. Draw them back under the shoulder and the knee respectively. If you need to shake out your wrists, please do. Inhale, find cow. Exhale, find cat. Inhale back to neutral. Left toes tuck under and reach back. Right fingertips reach forward. And you're pressing really firmly through the grounded hand here, the left hand on the side. You're drawing your shoulder back, and you're lifting your left hip so that you're very strong and stable here, even though you are kind of playing around with your balance a little bit. And you could, of course, stay here, or you could lift a foot, or a hand, or both. Pick what works for you. Pick where you can maintain a steady breath, but you feel a little bit of activation in your body. And then we stay. We just hold. We notice, well, it's kind of challenging just to hold and to breathe well, to breathe strongly and smoothly. I notice that your breath gets kind of little stutters or little hiccups. And You're just working in to polish that. Make it as smooth as possible. We'll take one more deep breath. And then from wherever your hand and your leg are, you're going to draw your knee and your elbow to the center line on an exhale. And move out on the inhale. Expand. And you just do 3 of these. And you focus on the breath. Is it smooth? Or is it working towards being smooth? Sometimes that's the operative. You place the hand down. You place the leg down. You inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Shake out your wrists if you need to. Walk your hands a little bit forward, 5 or 6 inches. Again, press down through the pads of all 10 of your fingertips. Bring your shoulders over your wrists, tuck your toes under. Start to lift your knees and come to downward facing dog. You can pedal your feet here or sway your hips, anything that feels nice. You might like to bend your knees and lift your hips high, stretching into your shoulders. You might like to bend and straighten your legs as you lower your heels towards the earth, stretching the backs of your legs. Take another deep breath here. Smooth it out. Bring your knees back to the floor. Bring your hands back under your shoulders. Wiggle your hands out if you need to, or press into the backs of your hands, because we're going to do one more last thing that will involve a little bit of wrist strength, so wiggle things out as needed. Spread the fingers wide. Press into all 10 of the fingertip pads. Draw the shoulders back. Tuck, if they're not already there, your toes under, so you feel all 10 of your toes on the mat, all 10 of your fingers on the mat. As you inhale, find a cow pose. As you exhale, come through cat pose and lift so firmly, press so firmly through the tips of your fingers, like a backwards one, that maybe you can lift your knees away from the floor. Inhale, drop the knees down, come through cat pose. Exhale, come through cat pose, press, 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 press. Maybe you can get a little bit of lift off. It's just an inch or 2 if you do lift. And then one more like that. Smooth and steady breath. Inhale back to neutral. Walk your hands now, this time maybe 10 or 12 inches, a little bit further forward. Slide your shoulders over your wrists, untuck your toes. Chest and chin come to the floor as you squeeze your elbows in. Tuck your pelvis down, lift the center of your chest, Cobra. Feel free to stay nice and low, or if you're ready, come a little higher. Exhale, you're going to snake your way back, lifting first your hips, then your bum, pressing into your hands, back to child's pose. Forehead towards the floor. Take a deep, smooth breath. Inhale, come on forward. Your hands can be a little in front of your shoulders because, again, you'll tuck your toes and come to your downward facing dog. And we'll take 3 or 4 breaths here. Any movements, again, that feel pleasant to your body. Focus on finding and smoothing the breath. As you're ready, walk or step your feet up to the front of the mat, finding your forward fold with soft knees. Find a little bit of length in your spine as you dangle forward on an exhale. Inhale, press your hands into your legs somewhere, lift up halfway. You can straighten your legs if that feels good. And then exhale, release. Soften the knees a little bit. As you inhale now, you roll to the sky, 1 vertebrae at a time. Let your arms stay heavy here. When you reach standing, roll your shoulders back. Exhale. On an inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and lean to the right, stretching the left side of the body. You can turn and look up. That feels good. Find your steady breath. And imagine that you are directing your breath here into this stretched, open left side of your body. Every inhale, you're just expanding it a little bit more. With the next breath, you'll come back to the center, grab the right wrist, and lean to the left. And again, same thing. You find that steadiness and smoothness in your breath, especially with a side stretch, it can be a little bit challenging. There's a lot of muscles here that can tighten up. And you gotta just allow them, just kind of stretch out and allow your breath to guide them gently. And you're ready, come back to the center, inhale. As you exhale, you're going to press the palms of your hands together and fold forward. Forearms to thighs, hands to shins, fingertips to a block or all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bring your hands either onto your shins or onto your thighs. Really reach the crown of your head forward. Now, you can put your hands on the floor or on blocks, or you can try this with no hands. Step your right foot back. Bring your right knee to the floor and start to lift up. If you need the support of blocks to lift up, that's totally fine, but you're working to come down and then move up, eventually bringing your arms to the sky. And don't worry, we're going to do this several times. Squeeze your inner thighs together, lift up. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, lift your back knee up and step back to dog. Inhale, come to plank. Now, knees could be up or down, totally your choice. Slowly lower to the floor either way. Try to squeeze your elbows in, Tops of the feet come flat. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale to release. Swiggle your way back. So lift your hips first. Go low, low, low. You might want to get your forearms to the floor as you go really low here. Back to Child's Pose. Nice deep full breath. Smooth it out. Inhale, back forward. Tuck your toes under, come to downward facing dog. Immediately that you come to downward facing dog, lift your right foot up as you inhale. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Inhale, look forward, soften your back knee, and step up. Left foot next to right. Maybe even finding a little halfway lift. Exhale to soften. Soft knees, heavy head. Inhale, roll all the way up. You can take your arms out and up if you feel ready. Exhale, you're going to fold directly forward again. Keep the breath as smooth as you can. Inhale the hands onto the legs. You can always put your hands down, or you can try the no hands variation just for fun. As you exhale, step the left foot back. Bring the left knee to the floor. Again, you can be using props here, or you can just be floating your hands if you feel ready, lifting up on the inhale. Little low lunge. I'm keeping my toes tucked back here just because it's easier to then come into the downward facing dog. If that doesn't work for your knee, go ahead and untuck your toes. Put a blanket under there. Inhale, you lift up, you go really tall. As you exhale, you fold smoothly forward, and the breath is working to be smooth, and the movement is working to be smooth. You plant your hands down, you lift your back knee, and you step back to downward facing dog. And then on an inhale, you glide yourself forward to plank. Feel free to have your knees down or up. Slowly come all the way to the floor. We're going to do one more Cobra. Inhale, lift up, press the tops of your feet down. Exhale, release, low, low, low as you can go with your upper body as you lift your buns up. Child's Pose, all the way back. Deep, full breath here, smooth it out. And then inhale forward. Press down into the pads of all 10 of your fingertips, tuck your toes, downward dog. Immediately that you come to down dog, lift your left leg, inhale. Exhale, smooth it forward up to the front of the mat, setting you down slightly as you can, assisting it as needed. Soften your back knee, look up as you inhale, step, and maybe combine a half lift there, see how that goes. Exhale, fold. Soften the knees. Inhale, smooth, roll to the sky. We're going to try that one more time with a little bit of an addition. Exhale, folding forward. Smooth the breath as much as possible, even as we start to pick up a little bit of speed. Inhale, half lift. Feel free to use your hands on your legs, or maybe you can open your arms out to the sides. Hands or no hands. Right foot steps back, right knee comes down as you exhale. As you inhale, you smoothly lift up. Exhale, forward. Plant your hands. You're going to come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, slide forward to plank. Knees up or down, lower to the floor, exhaling. Inhale, you can take Cobra again, you can take up dog if you feel ready, or you can take Sphinx with the elbows under the shoulder. Exhale to release. And make your way back. You could come to table or child or downward facing dog for your deep breath this time. If you feel a little more frisky, maybe you come to table or dog for that breath. Hold something a little more vigorous. Immediately now lift your right foot to the sky, inhale. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Adding on a little bit, you're going to now fingertips lighten up on the floor. Back knee grows a little bit soft, but you're not going to step the back foot forward. You're going to tilt the tailbone down and lift up as you inhale, coming to a crescent lunge. Push your back heel towards the floor. Feel that glorious stretch at the front of your right leg and hip, and maybe even your low belly. As you exhale, smoothly as possible, fold forward. This can be a little bit wobbly, fingertips to the floor or hands on props. Step that back foot up. Half lift, inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale to smooth your way to the sky. And we're keeping it going. Exhale to fold. See if you can make that exhale long and smooth. Inhale, half lift. Hands on the legs or hands float to the side. Exhale, left foot steps back. The smoother your breath is, the easier it is to smooth your movements. Knee to the floor, and then as you inhale, slowly and gently lift up. So even though we're moving rather quickly with our breath, exhaling to fold forward, we're moving as smoothly and fluidly as possible, so it feels almost luxurious as you step back to dog. And then inhale, slowly to plank. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, you take Cobra, up dog, Sphinx, your choice of back bends. And then you get to spend one breath wherever you want. You can come back to child, table, dog. You can lie flat on the floor, whatever works for you. With the following inhale, you immediately float your left leg up. Inhale. Exhale, smooth step forward. Soften the back knee. As you inhale, tilt your tailbone. Now start to rise up. You can keep this back knee soft for a little bit of extra help. Maybe you're able to sweep your arms to the sky for a glorious breath here, stretching that back leg perhaps a little straighter now. And then smooth exhale all the way down, fingertips to the mat. Soften the back knee, inhale, step up. See if maybe you can get a little half lift in there. Feel free to slide your hands up much higher on your legs. Exhale, soft knees, release. Inhale, roll to the sky. Now this time, exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Listen to your breath. What does it sound like? Mine certainly is not as smooth as lying on the floor or sitting down on the floor, depending what you chose at the beginning of the practice. But I'm doing my best to keep it steady and supportive. Just work. As you work the muscles of the body, so too you work the breath. And as you grow stronger, as you practice, you develop that ability for the breath to stay smooth and steady, even as you work harder. Taking another breath here, smooth, fluid, steady. And we'll begin to move again. Blinking the eyes open. We're going to just add on a little bit. So everything that we're doing, we're just bumping it up a little teeny notch every time just to challenge ourselves. So now we're going to try a little bit of balance at the very beginning. And we'll try and keep our breath as smooth as possible while we balance. And then we'll keep working from there. All right, you are going to stand on your right foot and lift your left heel. And then maybe you can lift your left knee up. Relax your left hip. Lift the center of your chest, hands or wherever they support you here. Firm your left buttock. So you bring your butt cheek a little towards the center line. You're squeezing it in. And you're pulling your belly button back towards your spine. And you're lifting the center of your chest. And you'll start to notice that your leg grows really, really heavy here as we stay for a few more breaths. If your leg is not yet heavy and you feel like, oh, this is easy, extend your leg out straight and challenge yourself a little more. Notice your breath. How smooth can you make it? And it doesn't have to be be perfect. You're just working in that direction. It's like, again, polishing anything. It's like cleaning your windows. You think, oh wow, that looks perfect. And then you move slightly to the left, and you're like, oh, there's a huge smudge right over there. But it's still better than it was. All right. When you're ready, you're going to take your left leg back behind you. You can always put your hands on the floor in front of you, or you can try to float. No hands again. You're going to step your left foot back to the back of the mat, and you're going to bring your left knee to the floor as you exhale. As you inhale, you sweep your arms up. Remember, you can always untuck your toes here. That's totally fine. And then as you exhale, you fold. You plant your hands. You step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, you slide forward to plank. Exhale, knees up or knees down, lower to the floor. Inhale, luxurious, smoothly rise to your back bend. Exhale to release. Come on back. Your choice. Table, child, dog. Take one deep breath. Really take this opportunity to smooth the breath out. And then inhale forward. Tuck the toes. Come back to downward facing dog. Immediately that you come to downward facing dog, you're going to lift the right foot again. And you're going to step the right foot forward, lightly to the front of the mat. Soften that back knee. As you inhale, you're going to come back to a crescent lunge. So that back knee can be soft to help you rise up. If you need to have a chair to hold on to, that's totally fine, or a wall. Maybe lift your arms up. We're going to add on a little here. Inhale to lift up. As you exhale, you're going to twist over to your right, opening your right arm back and your left arm forward, working towards parallel to the long edge of the mat. As you inhale, you're going to sweep your right arm down, turn back to the center line, bring both arms up. Exhale, twist and open. Long, smooth breath for one more set. Inhale back to the center line. As you exhale, fold forward, hands or no hands. Hands on the floor in front of you or on blocks or floating. You're going to bring all of your weight to your right foot and see if you can float your left foot. You may have to take several steps with that left foot in to get balance on your right foot. That's totally fine. You're just breathing smoothly as you come to a variation of Warrior 3. You can always be supporting yourself. Hug your right butt cheek in again. We're coming back to that balance. A little flow that starts and ends with balance. And of course, you can always pull a kitty and just lie down whenever you need to if you start to feel that your breath has become not at all smooth or steady. Now from here, curl your back foot in. Again, hands on the floor or no hands. Left foot next to the right. Inhale, see if you can find that halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, roll yourself to the sky. All the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. We're going to take 3 deep, smooth breaths before we move on to the other side. Polish, smooth, slow down. All right, you're going to stand on your left foot. And we're just going to do the balance for a while and see if we can keep our breath steady as we wobble. All right, weight to the left foot, right heel lifts. Maybe the right knee can lift. You tuck your left butt cheek in, so you're hugging towards the center line. But as you hug towards the center line, don't let your right hip lift up. You're not leaning to the left. Your torso is still nice and strong and stable. And you're just hugging everything towards the midline. And then you'll automatically almost feel your abdominals hug in as you hug your hips in. Your core starts to activate, and what should happen is your shoulders should feel a little bit more relaxed. You shouldn't have to hunch like this when you're bringing the strength of your lower body to play. And then just breathe. And you notice that that's the hardest part. Keeping the breath steady, not holding the breath or catching the breath at a certain point when you start to struggle physically. And if you're not struggling yet, and this is rock solid, you stick your leg out in front of you and you add more weight to this lever. You make it harder. Oh, this side is much harder than the other this morning. Maybe you stay with the leg extended, maybe you don't. See how it goes. Keep hugging the hips to the midline. Keep breathing deeply. I'm not moving fast today. I'm moving with a lot of intention makes it challenging. All right. You're going to float back, hands or no hands, see how it goes. The right foot comes behind you and you reach it far, far, far back. If you need some support, you put your hands down to the floor blocks. As you bring on the exhale, your right foot and then your right knee to the floor. You might wobble a lot, but keep your breath as smooth as possible. Inhale, reach your arms up. Glorious. Exhale, forward, plant the hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, slide yourself forward to plank. Your version of a push-up to the floor, knees up or down. Cobra, turning the toes over for up dog. That means keeping the hips lifted, rolling the shoulders back. Maybe you take a sphinx with the elbows under the shoulders, and then come back for one deep breath. Your choice of where to take that. And then coming to dog, immediately lifting your left leg, inhale. Exhale as lightly and as smoothly as far possible, step that foot forward, From here, soften the back knee and inhale up to your crescent. Even if you wobble, I find crescent is often very wobbly for me coming up. You see if you can breathe smoothly through that physical wobble, lifting your arms up to the sky, pushing your back heel to the earth. And we add on a little bit. You inhale smoothly here, and as you exhale, you turn as fluidly as possible, twisting to the left, opening the arms. Inhale, sweep the left arm down and come up. Exhale, twisting and flowing. Inhale to the center. Last time, twisting. Inhaling to the center. And then we go again for that little bit of balance. You float as nearly as possible forward. Sometimes the floating is only in one's imagination. And you use the support to get into a warrior three. Maybe you try to float your hands. Maybe you use a block. I'm not concerned with being unsupported or being supported. I'm more concerned with how smooth the breath feels. So find the position where you can maybe get a little bit of lift in that back leg. Squeeze your left hip in and breathe. If you stop breathing, take a break from the physical pose. Maybe find a forward fold or a seat for a moment. And that's okay if the breath grows a little choppy. You just work to smooth it out. Let's take another deep breath. And then hands or no hands, you curl the right foot in. You inhale to halfway lift as you set that right foot down next to the left. Exhale to fold, soften the knees. Inhale, roll all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. And steady breaths. Deep breaths. Full breaths. Slow it down. It's so easy to forget the breath. It happens automatically. But when we are mindful of it, when we practice making it slow and deep, it brings a whole new dimension to our practice. It brings a whole new element of challenge, of course, but also of reward to breathing deeply. It is, of course, physically good for us, filling our lungs with air, breathing deeply, giving more oxygen to our brains and our muscles is always good. It brings about some mental changes as well. You get a little more calm with those deep breaths. You slow down the nervous system. When you're ready, you're going to blink your eyes open. You're going to lift your arms up overhead. We're going for one more little standing flow. As you exhale, fold forward. Hands to the floor or not. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the legs or not. As you exhale, you're going to fold a little bit again. Soften the knees and step the right foot back. The right knee comes to the floor. As you inhale, you lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands. This time, you're going to lift your back knee and you're going to take your left foot to the sky as you inhale for a three-legged dog. As you exhale, place your left foot back down. As you inhale, glide forward to plank, knees up or down. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, your choice of back bend. Exhale back to your base. Take a deep full breath, whatever pose feels best to you. Really smooth it out. The end of that breath, you come to dog and you immediately lift your right leg up. Inhale. Exhale, step that right foot forward to the front of the mat. Smooth and steady, soften your back knee. Inhale, lift to crescent. Exhale, open your arms and twist to the right. Inhale, come back to the front, sweeping the arms up. You have 2 more like that. Go with the pace of your own breath. Inhale back to center. We're going to float up and we're going to attempt to combine our 2 balances. So as you exhale, you come forward. Your hands can always come to the floor. You can always take several steps with your back foot floating to a warrior 3. Hands wherever they assist you. Hold here. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Breathe deeply. On your next breath, you're going to inhale where you are. As you exhale, you're going to curl your left knee in. You can have your hands on the floor and then lift them away if you need to. But you're going to see if you can stand up, bringing your left knee towards your chest, and you come back to where we started the balance with the left knee bent, or potentially with the left leg straight if you feel really quite frisky. And you relax. And you hold. And you see if you can breathe. Seeing if you can breathe being the operative here. It might feel a lot more challenging, combining 2 balance poses into 1. All right. Take another breath. And then put the left foot down. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. We're going to flow directly to the other side. As you exhale, press your hands together, fold. Hands to the mat or the legs or the blocks, or not. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, soften a little bit. You're going to step your right foot back and put your right knee on the floor. Lift your arms up, find that lunge. Exhale, fold fluidly forward, plant your hands. You're going to go to 3-legged dog, taking your left foot all the way up to the sky as you inhale. As you exhale, take your left foot to the floor. Inhale, smooth forward to plank. So you're just making this whole thing, breath and everything as you lower to the floor on the exhale, as smooth and as fluid and as steady as possible, inhaling to a back bend. Exhaling back to wherever you want to take your deep, full breath. Inhaling back to downward facing dog. Now immediately lifting when you're ready the left leg and stepping the left foot forward. Slow and steady. Soften the back knee. Inhale up. Crescent lunge. It's okay if you wobble. Exhale, twisting to the left. It's another place where you might wobble quite a lot, and it takes a lot of concentration to come forward again and to twist again with your breath. Last set. Inhale back to the center, and we combine the balance. So we slide forward on an inhale, floating to warrior 3-ish pose. Any kind of place where you have a little bit of lift of your back leg. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Find your breath. Lift the pit of your belly. Feel light, even if it's only for a fraction of a second. And then you curl your right knee in, and you're attempting to stand up on one foot. There might be quite a few pit stops as you come back to standing on the left leg with the right knee in. Hug the inner thighs together. Find a place for your hands that feels balanced. Again, if you need more of a challenge, you're feeling rock solid today, extend the right leg straight. Otherwise, you can keep the knee bent. Breathe deeply. Breathe smoothly. All right. As you're ready, you're going to plant that right foot down. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Exhale, you're going to fold forward, and you're going to stay in this forward fold. So take your time to get comfortable. Hands or arms on the legs, or to blocks, or to the floor, or you're welcome to take any kind of shoulder stretchy arm variation, lacing your arms up, or taking your arms behind your back if you want. We're going to take a few deep breaths here, keeping the knees soft and the head heavy. Just angling for a moment. All right, release your arms if you wound them up in any way. Inhale, find halfway lift. And then as you exhale, you're just going to come to seated in any way that feels comfortable to you. From here, place the soles of your feet on your mat, and you're going to roll yourself all the way down so that you're lying on your back. Slide the soles of your feet in so that your knees are pointing towards the ceiling. You need to adjust your hairstyle because it's in your way. Please don't hesitate. When you're lying on your back, and put your hands down by your sides. Press the palms of your hands to the floor again. Press all 10 fingertips down here. Do the same with your toes. Connect them to the floor. Inhale smoothly. And exhale deeply. With the next inhale, push down into all 10 fingertips and the toes and lift the hips. As you exhale, stay where you are. As you inhale, you might now decide to lift your arms up over your head, putting the backs of your hands to the mat. Exhale where you are. Inhale, find a little more lift to your hips. Now you could simply stay here, or on the exhale, you can lower your hips down. You're welcome to leave your arms overhead or by your sides, wherever they feel good. Inhale, press into all 10 of your toes and your heels. Lift your hips. Exhale, soften back down to the mat. If you prefer, you can simply hold the top of your bridge pose here and breathe deeply. Or you can flow up and down with the breath. Again, the whole idea is just to keep the breath really smooth. Maybe you can even match the breath to the movement. Smoothing out both the physical movement and the movement of your breath. Let's do one more deep breath here, moving with the body or just with the breath, totally up to you. The next exhale, everybody lowers their hips down. If you have your arms overhead, bring those down by your sides. And then from here, what we're going to do is draw the right knee in towards our chest. Extend the left leg long to the bottom of the mat. You're going to cross your right knee over to the left, coming into a twist, potentially extending your right arm. Feel free to prop underneath your right knee or bend your bottom knee if you need to, coming into this twist. I like to look towards my right fingertips as I twist to the left. Inhale, come back to the center line. You're going to keep holding onto your right knee, and you're going to see if you can sit all the way up. You can hold on to kind of the top of your shin, or you can hold the back of your thigh. You can also use a strap here if that feels better. And you're going to see if you can start to peel your head away from the mat. You can give a little kick into your right foot if you need to. See if you can come to seated. If it doesn't work, don't worry. Do your best. Place the right foot down. Adjust your buns so you're sitting on your sits bones. And we're going to take another twist here. You can twist with the foot on the inside of the left leg, or you can cross your right foot to the outside of the left leg. Lift your arms up from there as you breathe in. As you breathe out, twist again. Well, actually, this time you're twisting to your right. So now twist to your right. You can hug your right knee, or you can take your arm to the outside of your right leg. See what feels good. Flex your left toes up towards the ceiling here. Take a few deep, steady breaths. As you inhale, you'll come back to the center line. We're going to go for a little shoelace action. So if you haven't yet done so, cross your right foot to the outside of your left leg. And then from there, you're going to start to move your right foot out to the side, bringing your right knee towards your left knee for a stacking-ish position. Your legs do not have to stack, or your knees don't have to stack, and you can always grab a prop and place a prop underneath any portion of your body here. If you're sitting more in a figure four, or even in a half butterfly or Shavasana with the sole of the right foot against the left thigh, that's fine. You want to feel a little action in your hips as we fold forward. The most kind of intense variation will be this shoelace pose, which will be right knee atop left knee, and then you're trying to square your hips forward and potentially fold towards the front of the mat, depending on where you are, both physically and, well, physically both ways. Whether it's your muscles or your position, you may or may not get very far forward. Yes. Yes, your life is so difficult. And you're just breathing slowly and steadily. Even if there's a lot of intensity in your hips, breathe into it. All right. Walk your fingertips in towards you. Unwind whatever you did with your legs. Stretch them out. Give them a little wiggle. Give them a little shake. And you roll back down to the mat. And you could roll with your legs and arms extended. Maybe go for a little more core work this time. You can have the knees in towards your chest. See what feels good. Make your way to the mat. Once you get there, draw the soles of your feet in. We're going to go for one more bridge pose here. And this one will be a little bit different. So bring your hands back down to the sides. Press the palms of your hands into the floor again. Press the fingertips into the floor again. Inhale, lift your hips. Now you might simply stay right here. You might add a little more shoulder action, holding the outer edges of your mat, pulling the mat apart, or even wiggling your shoulders underneath you, taking your hands and lacing them potentially underneath your back. We'll take a few deep breaths here. If you happen to have a full wheel in your practice, you're welcome to do that as well. But you can also just hang in bridge pose today. Feel the breath. One more steady breath. Gently lower yourself all the way down. Hug the left knee to the chest. Extend the right leg long. You're going to cross over and twist to the right, taking the left knee to the right. Maybe extending the left arm. I'm doing a cactus shape over here with my left arm because I don't have quite enough space to go full out. That's always an option. You can even hook your top legs on this side. It would be my left leg behind the back of your right knee. Some people find that really lovely. You can experiment here. Just enjoy the twist. I like to think of the twist as like having a wet, soggy dishcloth, and we're just like wringing it out so that it's ready to receive fresh, clean, clear water. We're wringing out the breath, we're wringing out the muscles. And then as we inhale, we come back to center. It's like, oh, you can get a really nice deep breath here in this untwisted position. You're going to hug that left knee again. And you're going to see if you can bring yourself forward. Hold the thigh, the leg, use a strap, and then heel yourself all the way up. Place the left foot either on the inside of the right leg or on the outside, totally your choice. Lift your arms up as you breathe in. Flex your right toes to the sky. Exhale, twist to the left. Spend a few breaths here. At this point, hopefully your breath is starting to feel a lot smoother and steadier. You've slowed it down. We're moving towards Shavasana, towards rest. Inhale back towards the center. If you haven't yet done so, cross the left foot to the outside of the right leg, and that might be plenty. You could feel your hips here. You might just fold. You might even think, oh, that's too much, and you might come back to more of a Janusirsasana with the sole of the foot towards the thigh, folding forward here. That's totally fine. Or you can go a little deeper, bringing the left foot over to the right, stacking the left knee on top of the right knee. And again, towards stacking. It may or may not happen depending on how your hips feel. And then potentially you fold a little forward, and you just breathe. You just want to feel some stretch here at the back of your body. And you want to direct your breath again there. You want to feel the breath helping you to open up the body. I mean, it seems obvious. The breath has to be the basis of our practice. Without the breath, of course, we are not alive, and therefore we cannot practice this physical practice of yoga. But we still forget. And we still hold our breath when we come into poses. And it's really nice to focus on how the breath helps us, both in things that are physically challenging, but also in things that are mentally challenging, like staying in an uncomfortable place, but being calm and being able to breathe. When you're ready, walk yourself back in. Unwind your legs. You might like to give them a wiggle or a shake. I always feel like after this I want to do a little Badakanasana, so you could do that. Bring the soles of your feet together and folding forward, but just anything for the next 3 or 4 breaths that feels good. You could take a twist to each side if you want to. If you're ready, you can just lie yourself all the way down. Because that's where we'll go next. Once you're ready, you can make your way back down to the mat. Add, of course, any props or accessories that feel nice for your Shavasana. And allow yourself, again, to get really comfortable. Just like the beginning of class, what you want to feel here is that your body is comfortable and at ease, so that all of your attention can be with your breath. And you let your eyes close and your attention turn to the sound of air entering and exiting the body. Just listen. You can let go of any effort you have exerted over the breath during this practice. You can just let it be. Just allowing the breath to flow in its own pattern. course, if you have a little extra time, please stay. Enjoy your relaxation a little longer. When it's time to return to your day, breathe in and breathe out. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. As you are ready, you can make your way to one side to rest for a breath or two. Before coming to a comfortable seat for you today. As you arrive in your seat, let your hands come in front of your heart. We'll close with a steady, smooth breath together, in through the nose if that's possible today, out through the mouth. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you so much.